Hi guys, my name is Becca C. Smith and I'm a writer. I write mainly series books. I wrote the Riser Saga, the Atlas series, Alexis Tappendorf series, and Dream Diaries, which if you check the link below, you can actually get a free copy of that. With NaNoWriMo coming up, I figured I'd give you my 3 tips that I do when outlining a series or a sequel. Now, the first book is always the easiest because you're writing all of the rules. You're essentially writing the Bible for all the books to come. Writing sequels and books thereafter are a bit tricky because you have to stick to each previous book and the whole thing that you've written before. To have to keep, 1, 2, 3, 4 books in your head while writing the current book can be a little bit daunting. And it blows my mind that authors have 9, 10, 11, 12 series. Brandon Sanderson is my hero. He's amazing. I'm pretty sure my head would explode. Tip number 1, read the previous book or previous books twice. I know, it seems like a lot of extra work, but the first time I read it, I go through and I make notes. I basically jot down anything of importance or even just for reference, like character descriptions, their age, what they look like, because sometimes, you're writing and you're just like, oh, did they have blue eyes or brown eyes? Or, and it's just nice to have a quick reference guide. So that's what I'll do is the first read through, just write down everything. So anything like conversations or things that you think you may make reference to in the next book that you're writing. Second time around is skim. You don't have to read it word for word, but it's for me to get back into the headspace of that world. It's definitely good to get you in that headspace, especially with something like NaNoWriMo, if you're going to attempt to do it at NaNoWriMo, because you need to hit the ground running on NaNoWriMo because you only have a month. So you better have everything in your head, put together, and ready to go. Tip number 2 is then you have to organize the notes. I divide my notes into sections. I have a character section from what I talked about before, where I give their age, their description, any side notes that I have about the characters. I write a lot of supernatural type books, so I literally have sections just for powers. In my Atlas series, different color fire coordinates to what the power does. So I have a list of fires and what they do. Purple fire is for controlling, and red fire is for resurrection, and so on. So, because I'm telling you, when they're in the middle of a battle and they're hurling fire at each other, you're thinking, shit, what color was the one that and which one would she be using? And would they really want to be hurting them, or would they want to be capturing them, and that whole thing. So quick reference, powers. But if I'm writing a drama, like Dream Diaries is more of a teen drama. It has sci-fi elements because she is psychic, but I find the section most useful for Dream Diaries is the relationships between the characters. So I literally have a relationship section and how they all connect and how they know each other and all that, because again, when you're writing the sequel, you're thinking, wait, how did they know each other again? And it's just nice to boom, look right over, oh right, they met in 2nd grade, blah 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 blah. So sections, very helpful. Tip number 3 is writing down any ideas that spring up as you were reading through it. For me, with Dream Diaries, there was a character that, was a solid character in the first book, but as I was rereading it, I was thinking, oh, wait, she's going to be much more important in the second book. So just going through the notes and going through the scenes that you're rereading, you've created all these seeds, and this is where you kind of go crazy with ideas. Like I had a scene that wasn't as important as the others, and now I find from that one scene in the second book, it's a big deal and it's going to be a huge part of the second book. So you never know what's going to happen. I think sometimes it's best to look at your work before you write the sequel as someone else's, because it helps you generate all these new ideas that you may not have thought of because you're too close to the material and so on. So if you can kind of distance yourself, and usually that's pretty easy because it's been a while since you've written the first one, unless you're the kind of person that just writes them all in a row. For Dream Diaries, it's actually been 2 years, so it was almost like coming to a brand new book. So super excited about that. And now after you've done that, you can just outline as you normally would. This is of course if you're an outliner, because some people are pantsters and they can write on the fly. For me, especially with sequels, I have to outline because my brain cannot keep all that together. Just, no. But outlining is actually one of my favorite parts about writing because that's where I really get to work out all the details and figure things out. And sometimes, yeah, I throw it away when I'm in the middle of writing because I come up with something better, and that's totally fine. But then I'll go back and rework the outline so that it still works because I'm a stickler for structure. I love it. I know. I know some people like more artistic, you know, all over the place kind of thing, and that's great, and sometimes I do love that. But for me, when I'm writing, personally, I need it to be structured. But NaNoWriMo is so close, so I'm still working on my outline, I'm still working out the kinks, but I feel like I'm almost there. We just moved, so it's been kind of crazy. I feel like I had a whole week of downtime, so now I am just focusing, and I am so excited. So if you guys have any tips or any tricks of your own about how to outline or especially with series, I would love to hear about it in the comments. I love new information. It makes me very, very happy. So thank you for joining, and if you like this channel, please subscribe, and let's do this. NaNoWriMo!